So guys, today I'm going to do first part of DCG headquarters with a named items only skill build that I've put together. I will clear this first section and I will go through the build in detail with you. So I'll pick you up after I've done the gameplay.
We think Black Tusk may be after the DCD's databases as a means to exploit the broad-spectrum antivirus they captured. We need to stop them.
So guys, as you can see, that worked pretty well. I'm going to go through the build with you now. So I've got the technician specialization, so I've got the extra skill tier that it provides. I'm using the test subject as my primary weapon, so it's got perfectly in sync, to which hit an enemy grants 20% skill damage for 5 seconds. Then using a skill or damaging an enemy with a skill grants 20% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Damage increases are doubled while both buffs are active at the same time, so it's a really strong replacement for the capacitor if you don't have it. It's definitely worth using for a skill build. Moving on to my secondary weapon, which is the mechanical animal, which has perfect future perfection on it. So weapon kills grant 1 skill tier for 19 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. Weapon kills at skill tier 6 grant overcharge for 15 seconds. That has a cooldown of 90 seconds, but it's a very good weapon to swap to if I want a little bit of overcharge. Maybe just if I was running with a revive hive, I could use it to refresh the reviver hive. Just something to think about there. Obviously a revive hive is not a necessity on a skill build, but you could be using it for support. You could, if you, especially on a healer build, where you could get your restorer hives back quicker because the overcharge recharge. So moving on to the mask, I've gone for the Night Watcher. Gives me a bit more armor. Scanner pulse haste isn't really required, but it was either this or the punch drunk mask. So I've chosen for this one out of the two of those. I've got a skill haste and a skill haste mod on it. The Emperor's International named Caesar's Guard chest piece. Skill tier, skill haste, skill damage, skill duration, and is really useful because of the talent perfectly skilled. So skill kills have a 30% chance to reset skill cooldown. So if my drone gets destroyed and my turret kills a few enemies, then I'm going to get my drone back quicker than I would when I'm waiting for it to finish its cooldown. I've got the Forge holster, just in case I want to switch the drone to a shield. I can then have a bit more shield health, and I've still got skill damage as the secondary second attribute. the Emperor's Guard knee pads. Again, it's this or Fox's Prayer, so I went for these. It's got skill tier, armor region, crit damage, so a bit crit damage for when I'm shooting. The Contractor's gloves. So I've got weapon damage, damage to armor, and crit damage. So again, it gives me that little bit of boost. I can run with these because of the technician specialization giving me that skill tier. And then I've got the Empress International name backpack, battery pack. So it's got skill damage, status effects, skill haste. When I get the time, I'm going to change the status effects to skill haste, and it's also got perfectly calculated, so kills from cover reduce skill cooldown by 15%, which is again really useful and works very well in conjunction with perfectly skilled, because both of them are aimed at reducing your skill cooldowns, obviously. And then for the skills at the moment, I'm using the turret and the drone. So as you can see, the drone is on tier 6 and it has 58,000 damage, and the turret has 92,000 damage and is also on tier 6. It's a nice little template. There are obviously better gear in slots, but in terms of named items, these are the best I could come up with at short notice when putting this build together. I would like to change the Emperor's Guard for a better pair, however, as a DZ exclusive, they're really difficult to get hold of, unless you're extremely lucky like I did. I got this pair from a named item cache, but I would prefer one that had skill damage on it maybe, or skill haste rather than the crit damage. But it's definitely something to look at. It's a little bit of fun putting together and seeing how it plays. Hopefully it will give you some ideas. You don't obviously not to use maybe all the bits, but it'll give you an insight into how some of them work if you're not using them already, and how you can fit them into your current builds. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.